Welcome to this Yoga for Cancer Survivorship class. Today we are going to be theming our practice around the ideas of acceptance and curiosity. And I invite you to really consider that everything that you are doing is exactly right. Everything you are doing is exactly as you should be doing it. And there is room to be curious about doing it in a different way, in a slightly different way. As in, my breath is perfect. My breath is exactly as it should be. It's nourishing me, it's rinsing me, it's doing exactly what it should be doing. And I might try breathing just a slightly different way, maybe smoother, maybe slower, maybe deeper, as a curious experiment about how that will affect me. So that's what we're going to work with today: acceptance and curiosity. Okay? So we'll just begin with one hand resting on the chest, and you can place the other hand on your belly, or you can simply rest the other hand on your lap. But I just want you to feel into the movement of your breath. So you're going to breathe however you breathe, and feel how the body moves to accommodate the breath. Notice how the chest rises and falls. Notice maybe how your belly expands and contracts. Just be aware of how you are doing exactly what you should be doing in this moment. And experiment with potentially breathing a little slower, a little deeper, or a little smoother. See how that is for you. I think it is really valuable, really healing to accept where you are in this moment, in whatever circumstances you find yourself in. And also to be open to experimenting with curiosity, any new ways of doing things. Okay, so as we go through our stretches, our movements, I'm going to ask that you retain this observation of acceptance. Here's where I'm at. Maybe this body part doesn't move exactly as I want it to move or as it used to move. And maybe there is a different way of approaching this. So see if we can involve curiosity wherever possible. Okay. So we're going to begin with some joint warm-ups, and you'll start off by bringing your wrists together, fingers relaxed but away from each other. So the fingers of one hand don't touch each other, but also the fingers of one hand don't touch the other hand, okay? And just begin to roll around the wrists back and forth without letting the fingers touch. See what that's like. And then the next time the thumbs point down, palms face out, pause. Bend your elbows, point your fingers in towards your heart, and then point the fingers up towards the ceiling. Then continue that circle rolling around the wrists. Bend your elbows, fingers in towards the heart, up towards the ceiling, and then continue to roll around. And then start to make the movement a bit smoother. See how that is for your wrists. Do that one more time in that direction. And then without thinking too much about it, reverse. Right? Don't let the mind get too caught up. Okay, last one. And then just pause, kind of feeling into the wrist there. Good, then extend one arm out, and you're going to take the hand and pull the fingers back of the other hand. Pull those fingers back. You can keep this elbow slightly bent if that's easier on your arm and your shoulder. But what you're looking for is a stretch across the inside of the wrist. And then once you have that sensation, go ahead and stretch the opposite direction. Now, if you keep the elbow bent here, you're not going to feel much of a stretch. So try this with the arms straight, pulling the fingers back towards you. Okay? And then shake out that hand, and then we'll do the other hand. So first you pull the fingers back, down and back, and feel that across the inside of your wrist. And then we want to stretch the outside of the wrist, top of the wrist, by pulling the fingers back the other direction, but you need to have the elbow straight in order for this to be effective. And then shake out your wrists. Okay. Now go ahead and begin to roll one shoulder. I'm going to turn a little bit angled because I want you to see the shoulder going forward, up, back, and down. So those 4 points, forward, up, back, and down, right? And then just start to roll the shoulder that way. Yeah. Okay, and then relax that shoulder. Try it with the other shoulder. Forward, up, back, and down. The down one is the one that really gets kind of shortchanged. So see if you can feel that down position. This is also a habitual pattern for many of us, that the shoulders stay high rather than dropping down. Okay, so now we've got one shoulder going. See if you can do the other shoulder, but time it almost like you are pedaling a bicycle with your hands. And don't forget that down position, right? And what you'll feel is that the rib cage has to rotate. The rib cage has to rotate in order to make this happen. Okay, so we're pedaling one direction. I think we're actually pedaling backwards. Now let's see if we can go the other direction. Again, if you get your brain too involved here, then it'll mess up the movement. Your body actually knows what to do. Okay, one more time. Oh, yeah. And then just let both arms rest, both shoulders rest. And notice how that feels. All right. Now we're going to do some movements with the arms that will integrate the neck, the shoulders, the upper back, the chest, the whole arm. So we'll just start with Anjali Mudra, which looks like you're saying a prayer, palms pressed against each other, shoulders dropping down. Notice how that feels. And then lace your hands and extend the arms forward with your palms facing you. And from there, reach the knuckles forward and let your upper back round. Drop your chin. Feel that opening up the upper back. And now turn the palms to face away from you and start to raise the arms up as far up as they will go, lengthening the sides of the body out of your hips. Okay, from here, we release the lacing of the fingers and circle the arms back, 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 like you're doing some kind of swim stroke, back and down. So those are the 4 movements we're going to move between. So it starts with Anjali Mudra, And then you lace the fingers, draw the knuckles forward, round your upper back, drop your chin. Then turn your palms away from your face and reach the arms up, lengthening through the sides of your body. And then release that lacing and circle the arms back and down. Remember, shoulder blades draw down. So let's connect this to the breath. Inhale, Anjali Mudra. Exhale, lace the fingers and round the upper back. Arms are forward. Inhale, turn the palms to face away from you and reach the arms overhead, lengthening the sides of your body. And then exhale, circle the arms back and down. And let's do that one more time. Inhale, Anjali Mudra. Exhale, lace the fingers, reach the arms around the upper back. Inhale, turn the palms away from you, reach the arms overhead, lengthen, 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 lengthen. And then exhale, circle the arms back and down. And then just let your hands rest. Take a few breaths. Feel neck, shoulders, arms, upper back, shoulder blades, maybe even the whole rib cage. Okay, now we're going to come into a twist here. So we'll start with what we call the cactus position. Elbows are bent at about the height of your shoulders. Right, so see if you can come into this position. Perfectly fine if the elbows are a little bit lower. Now what we want to do is hold one arm exactly as it is and bring the other arm to meet it. That's going to take us into this twist. So I'm going to glue my left arm in space, right where it is, and then slowly turn and bring my right hand close to, maybe even touching the left hand. My elbows won't touch. I don't know, maybe yours will. And then slowly come back to cactus. And then I'm going to go the other way. So now my right arm is going to stay put. And I'm going to slowly twist, bring the left hand towards the right. Yeah? And then unwind. Now we're going to unwind and inhale. Get nice and tall through the spine. Exhale and twist. Inhale and unwind. Exhale and twist. Like your muscles are spiraling around a barbershop pole. Inhale, unwind. Exhale and twist. We're going to do this one more time to each side. Inhale and unwind. Exhale and twist. Inhale and unwind. And then let your arms rest. Breathe. Observe. So the muscles you were using to make that twist happen, they live along the waist, high up on the waist and between the ribs. So now we're going to come into a little bit of a side bend as an exploration. So you're going to start off, let me lower you down a little bit. So you're going to start off by just finding a comfortable little side bend. So one hand is going to anchor either to the leg of the chair or to the floor, or in my case, the seat of the couch. And then the other hand is just going to come to the ribs. And then lean to your side away from the hand on the ribs and pause and take a few breaths, noticing how the muscles here expand and contract like the bellows of an accordion as you breathe. And then we're going to take a little bit of an exploration. So start off by leaning a little bit back, like you're opening the shoulder towards the ceiling. Lean a little bit back and see if you can feel a stretch along the front of the ribs. And notice how that changes the way you breathe. and then come back through that side bend, and then lean a little bit forward, almost a twist, right? And you might feel this along the back of the ribs. Breathe. And then come back to the side bend. And if this feels okay to stay right here, please do. Otherwise, if it's available, you can reach this arm, the free arm, overhead. Now be careful about this down shoulder, right? We don't want it climbing up into the ears. That's that habit we have. So really let the shoulder blades pull the shoulder down. And then to come up, you're going to reach this arm out to the side and slowly pull yourself up to center. And just let your arms rest, feeling that whole side of your body. When you're ready, come to the second side. So you bring the hand down to anchor you. You always want to feel that steady base, that firm foundation. Then the other hand's going to come to the ribs. Take your side bend any amount and breathe, noticing how the breath really is involved in stretching these muscles. Okay, now we begin to explore. Go a little bit backward, drawing the shoulder, the chest, everything towards the wall behind you. Feel that maybe opening up the front of the ribs, around the organs. Notice if your breath has become different. And then go ahead and come back through center and then lean a little bit forward. What does that feel like? Maybe you've got some sensation along the back of the ribs or down towards the hip area, right? So just be aware of that. Breathing. And then come back through the side bend, and we want to be right in that sweet spot of the side bend, neither forward nor back. And if it feels okay, maybe you reach the arm overhead. If your shoulder says no, thank you, you can always leave the hand down on your ribs. Good. And then to come out of this position, go ahead and reach the arm to the side and slowly come up, 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 up. And take a moment to pause, and feel. And then once again, set your hand, one hand on your chest, one hand on your belly, and feel your breath again. And recall that we are accepting this breath exactly as it is, knowing it is doing exactly what it needs to do. And we are exploring different ways of breathing, stretching the breath with curiosity. One of the questions, the inquiries that is pretty common to a yoga practice is to inquire, who is breathing? What initiates breath? So as you become curious about different ways to breathe, also open up to ideas that are maybe bigger than just the physical, just the physiological. Who is breathing? Okay. So we'll release our hands and go ahead and come up to standing. Any way that gets you there is fine with me. And then once you're up there, we will explore standing breathing. Okay. So now we're in a standing position. And again, exploring, understanding that this is our perfect way to breathe. We are nailing it with our breath. And we can explore maybe breathing a little bit differently, maybe moving our body a little bit differently, just as a way to curiously be interested in this shape we've taken. Okay. So the first movement we're going to come into is called spinal cord breathing, and we're going to do this 3 different ways. The first way I'm going to show you from the side so that you can really see into the spine here. The first way, remember our cactus pose? We're going to inhale into the cactus and then exhale, tuck the tailbone, bend the knees, and round the upper back, bringing chin towards the chest and bringing the elbows and hands together, just like we were doing with our twist. Yeah? And then inhale back into cactus. Exhale, this time stick the butt out, draw the shoulder blades down, maybe even lifting the chin and dropping the chest. Feels like we're dropping the chest to open up the front of the body. So it's inhale cactus, exhale round, inhale cactus, exhale arch. Inhale cactus, exhale round, inhale cactus, exhale arch. Inhale cactus, one more time, exhale round, inhale cactus, exhale arch. Now stay here for an inhale, and we're going to exhale and go through cactus into the rounded position. So the movement becomes a little faster. Inhale arch, exhale round. Inhale arch, exhale round. Couple more like that. Inhale arch, exhale round. Now inhale arch and stay here for the exhale. And we're going to take several breaths in this arched position. So try backing off out of the arch a little bit, maybe even twisting a little bit side to side, kind of moving one elbow down, then the other. See what that's like. Explore, in other words, explore for a few breaths. Stretching open the front of the belly, or the front of the torso, including the belly. Okay, and then move into the rounded position. And do the same thing here. Maybe swinging the hips to one side, then to the other. Maybe straightening the legs a little more, or bending the knees a little deeper. Kind of work with what feels good to you. There's no right and wrong. You are being curious here. Being curious about the body, about how it moves. Okay. And then slowly come back through cactus, and then let your arms come down by your sides. And take a few moments to breathe and feel. And along with noticing the quality of your breath, how deep, how smooth, how quickly, also ask the question, who is doing the breathing? Is it the part of you that is constantly changing, is constantly feeling thirst, hunger, fatigue, pain? Or is it the part of you that is always there, that is unchanged by these elements? Okay. Now, that's a big, big question to ask, big picture. So getting out of our heads too much, let's bring our hands to our hips, separate your feet about the width of your shoulders, and just start to circle the hips around. So I like to pose these big philosophical questions and then get back into the body before we get, just like we don't want to get too much into the head when we're doing our physical movement. We want to get back into our body when we ask these heady questions as well. All right. And then let's reverse direction. So we're doing nice big hip circles, nice and slow. Maybe getting a few creaks and cracks. Okay. And now start to make those circles smaller. Smaller, smaller, smaller. Almost like you're going into this tiny, tight little spiral. And as you do this little spiral, notice how your weight shifts one foot to the other. And just gently move it into a little shifting one side to the other. And you can kind of move the hips around too if that feels good to you. But it can also be very subtle. It can be very small, which is totally fine. Okay, let the arms kind of come down by your sides. And we're just going to let the arms kind of swing, almost making a figure eight with the hands. Figure eight. But then let's let this one arm come up a little higher. One arm comes up a little higher. So it's like one hand is dipping down and then coming back up, dipping down and coming back up. And let's connect this to the breath. So we inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, exhale. Nice and slow, like you're moving through water. And then start to make the arm movements even smaller, 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 smaller. Hip movements have already become nice and small, and then the shifting from side to side also gets small. And then the arms just come down by your sides and let the heels move right underneath your hip joints. So we're going to come into a little balance flow here. And it's a good idea if your balance is challenged, which can often be the case if there's some neuropathy through the feet or, inner ear issues. There's a lot of reasons why you might have some balance issues. So you might want to have one hand on a wall or one hand on a dresser or the back of a chair. I'm going to demonstrate it without support, but just know that you can always go and grab for some support anytime you need to. Okay? So we're going to come back into that shifting the weight from one foot to the other. Kind of a little bit of a sway. And then start to bring one foot up and then lower that foot down. So we're now shifting our weight onto that foot, and then we bring the other foot up and lower that foot down. So that's the movement so far. Just inhale, exhale, inhale, and exhale. And see how that feels. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. If your arms are free, you can kind of follow along with the legs so that when you inhale and you bend the knee, you also bend the elbows. And when you lower the foot, you also lower the arms. Inhale, exhale, once again. Okay, we're going to add to this now. So inhale, and then exhale, lean forward and kick the raised leg back. Then inhale, bring the knee back in. Exhale, lower the arm and the foot. Inhale, knee comes up. Exhale, kick the leg back. Inhale, knee comes up. Exhale, lower the foot. And do that again. Inhale, knee comes up. Exhale, kick the leg back. Inhale, knee comes up. Exhale, lower the foot. We're going to do it one more time. Inhale, knee comes up. Exhale, kick the leg back. Inhale, knee comes up. And exhale, lower the foot. And then just pause. Maybe you'll continue to sway a little bit side to side if that feels good to you. Or maybe you'll find yourself steady. Pause. Feel your weight on your feet. Let your knees be soft, hips be soft, shoulders relaxed, hands relaxed. Okay, so we're going to stand now with our feet wider than shoulders width apart, nice and as wide as you can comfortably get, and pivot the big toes in slightly, pigeon-toed position of your feet, okay? And firm the knees, so firm up the muscles around your knees, then set your hands on your hips and start to fold forward. Again, you can do this with your hands on a chair, on a couch, on a wall, whatever you need to feel steady. If you are going down towards the floor, one thing you can do is just start to walk your hands down your legs until you can comfortably reach the floor. So wherever you are, just take several breaths here. And we're going to come back to accepting and curious. So we accept that this is the breath we breathe when our body is in this upside down position. And we curiously ask, is there any different way to breathe? Is there a way to breathe more deeply, more smoothly? Okay, and then when you're ready, slowly start to bring your hands back up, slowly, slowly, slowly. Head is now either at or below or above the level of your heart, and then very slowly come all the way up to stand and bring the feet in. One hand on the chest, one hand on the belly. Once again, noticing your breath. How deeply, how smoothly, how quickly you're breathing. And what initiates the breath? Where does that come from? Has it been here all along? Or is it part of that changeable aspect of you? So now we're going to come to sit, either sitting on the floor, sitting on a chair. I'm going to sit on my couch in a comfortable way. For me, that's cross-legged. Doesn't have to be for you. So whatever works for you. And we're going to take a few moments to vocalize some different sounds that really help us to explore the length of our exhales. These are the different sounds of Om. There is an Ah, O, and an sound. So what we'll do is for 3 rounds, we'll just make the sound Ah. And then for 3 rounds, we'll just make the sound O. And for 3 rounds, just make the sound And then for 3 more rounds, we're going to blend Ah, O, together. Doesn't matter what your sounds sound like, what pitch they are, how loud they are, how long they are. Remember to be accepting and curious. The sounds you make are perfect. And let's explore them. So we're just going to set either one or both hands at the chest so that you can really feel the vibration. And we're going to start with the first 3 rounds, which is the word Ah. So empty your breath out. And then inhale. Now the sound O. Now the sound Now we'll blend all 3 sounds together 3 times. So if your hands are still on your torso, go ahead and release your hands. Close your eyes. Focus on your breathing. Think about the vibration that you were making on your exhale. Feel that very subtle version of vibration with just your breath. And once again, ask the question, who is breathing? Is this the breath, the vibration that has been here since the moment I took my first breath? Is this the breath that has been here through all the good and bad moments, the joys and the pains? Is this the breath that has threaded through all the changeable circumstances? Who is breathing this unchanging breath, this constant stream, this connection to my unchanging self? Who is breathing? Slowly bring your hands back to your chest. Feel that breath. Allow your eyes to gently blink open. And then join the palms again in Anjali Mudra, this time as a symbol of honor and of respect and of gratitude. Thank you. Namaste.